Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today we're going to be making a pattern called Double Vision. Now this is a jelly roll pattern. There's lots of sizes here, and I'm going to make the twin size, and it needs 70 strips. But because it's called Double Vision, that refers to we need 2 of every strip. So we're going to get 2 jelly rolls because then we know we will have 2 of every strip. Now there's lots of colors that would look good in this pattern. But if you see a lot of my videos, you know purple and green are my favorite colors. So we're going to get 2 of these, and now all we have to pick is a background. Now the pattern shows a white background, and I think that might be a little too stark with these colors. So I'm going to want to use a very light lavender. One of these up here would work. I think the lightest one, they will show the best against this really light one. And this is a batik. It's a watercolor, just has a little bit of motion going on there, and that will make a real nice background for these. Now we need 70 strips. So let's open up the packages, and we're going to take some out. We're going to take 5 away from each package, and I'm going to take out any that look exactly like the background. So this looks like it might be the background. So that won't be a good one to have in the patchwork. Let's take that one out, and any other real light ones that won't make a nice contrast, because that's what we want, is a nice contrast between the blocks and the background. I've picked out the ones I'm not going to use. So I've got 5 from each jelly roll. We will put these aside. We can use them for another project, or maybe we'll use them as binding. Now, from our first jelly roll here, I'm going to pick 3 strips. And it doesn't matter if you get 1 green and 2 purples and 1 green, but get 3 different strips. And we want to pick out the exact same ones from the second jelly roll. Okay, now get them in the same order. Let's go right over to the sewing machine. So we're going to take our first 3 strips here, and we're going to sew them side by side. So I'm going to open this up and put the next strip right on top of it. Line up these edges and use a careful 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to make my stitch unit a little bit small. So I want small stitches here. Let's make it a little bit smaller than that, because after we make these strip units, we're going to cut them. So anytime I'm going to make a lot of cuts, I want to have small stitches so that when I cut, the seam allowances don't open up there. So right along the edge, be careful that you don't stretch the top or the bottom strip, and go all the way down. Now I'm going to finger press the seam allowance to the right. So to finger press, open it up and pull it open a little bit, and then draw your fingernail or the pad of your finger right down that seam and go all the way down. This helps a lot when we iron this afterwards. So the seam allowance is going to the right, all the way down. Now take the 3rd strip and add it to the right side here using the exact same procedure. Finger press again to the right, so they're both going the same direction. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with these strips. We're going to sew them in the exact same order, but we're going to press the seam allowances all to the left. Both of the strip units are done, and you can see here that we've got the seam allowances going in opposite directions. So these are going that way, and these are going that way. Now we do want to iron them. Even though we finger press them, they won't be as flat as they will be after we iron. So I'm going to smooth it out, and then I'm going to use a dry iron and then some steam. Then I'm going to take my straight edge. So I've got a 4-foot ruler here, and I'm going to make sure that this is nice and straight right along the edge of the ruler. This one does look pretty good. It is possible when you're sewing to get it bowed a little bit, or even when you're ironing. So always make sure you've got it nice and straight. Now we're ready to cut the strip units. So we are going to use the strip tube ruler. I don't use a lot of different rulers, but I find this one to be very useful because it's got all the lines marked this way, and it's real easy to measure with. So we're going to use the 7.5-inch line, this dotted one here, and we're going to put it right along our cut edge there, hold it down, and then cut both sides here. Now we are going to flip the ruler around, and we're still going to use that 7.5-inch line, and we're going to put it on the top edge of our strip unit here, and we're going to hold it down and make a cut. Now we're going to keep flipping it, and you may have to make fresh cuts, like right here. You can't line up on there, so you can put the 7.5-inch line on the bottom, but we're going to have to do, you can slide it over a little bit there. We're going to have to cut this one and this one. So I was able to get 6 triangles from each strip unit. Now we're going to take this one here, which has got the big purple piece, and the same one from this set down here, and we are going to put them together like this, right sides together. And now you see why we ironed those seam allowances in different directions, because when we stitch them together, the seams are going to nest and everything is going to match very nicely. Now take this straight to the ironing board. Don't open it up, don't finger press. I like to iron this flat first. Just keep it closed and give it one more pressing. Because everything is on the bias now, it's real easy to get things distorted. So you want to carefully peel this open and don't stretch anything, and just pat it down a little bit. We want to try to keep this straight up here. So just very careful, then give it the iron and trim off that little teeny dog ear right there. So there's half a block. So I'm going to go ahead and pair these up and stitch them together, make some more strip units, and get the rest of my half blocks made. All the half blocks are made. Now we're going to pair them up to make nice whole blocks. So let's take one of these and then just pick a different color. It doesn't matter which one it is. And we are going to put these together. Now, because we were careful with our seam allowance ironing, when we go to sew this seam, all the seam allowances are going in the opposite direction, and it's going to be super easy to get everything matched up when we sew. So here's the last block, and we're going to take these over to the ironing board. There's a knack to ironing these, and it's real important to do it correctly. Since all of the seams are along bias edges here, we want to be real careful. So even just sewing along here can stretch it a little and make it wobble. So always iron it flat first. Then be careful when you open it that you don't stretch it along either seam. We always feel like we want to stretch along that seam, but you can't, because it'll make the block unsquare. So pat it down, then give it a dry iron, then some steam. And if you feel like you need to smooth this out a little, smooth it along the grain, which is this way, not along the seams. Now we need to make the cornerstone blocks. That's these little teeny ones here that are going to go between our bigger blocks. So we're going to take our last remaining strips and take them to the sewing machine. I have 2 different colors here, and I'm going to sew down this one side, 1/4 inch from the edge, and then I'm going to sew back the other side, and we're going to make a strip tube. Now we're going to go right down the other side. So here's our strip tube. It's actually circular there. So we're going to take the strip tube ruler, and we're going to use the 2.5-inch line, and we're going to put that line on our stitching line, not on the raw edge, on the stitching line there. And we are going to cut on both sides, and what we get is a square that's exactly 2.5 inches. Once those are all done, we are going to iron the seam allowance towards the dark side, and trim off the dog ears. Now we can start laying out the quilt. This quilt is going to be on point, but it's also going to have sashing and borders. So I'm going to leave some space between all the blocks here. So we're going to have the size I'm making, I'm going to have 4 across, and we need to put these cornerstones between all of them. Now we're going to have 3 in this next row, and I'm not worrying at all about what color is going where. When I'm all done, I may need to trade around to balance the colors, but for now, I'm just making sure that we have all of them with the seams going this way, so we've got half and half. Same thing with the cornerstones. Now we need a few more cornerstones. So I'm going to keep filling these in, and I'm going to put all of the cornerstones facing the same way. They're always going to have purple on the left and green on the right. I have all of the blocks and cornerstones laid out, and all of the background pieces are cut here. We have some sashing, some big side setting triangles, some small triangles, and then these are for the corners. So first step is to take all of the sashing, and it goes everywhere. It goes between every block, and it also goes all around the outside of every block. So it's going to go anywhere there's a straight edge. We're going to fill in with all of these sashing pieces. Now all we have to do is fill in with all these big and little triangles. So everywhere there's a little space, we're going to put a little triangle, and everywhere there's a big space, that's where the big ones go. So I'm going to do these all the way around, and then all we have left is these 4 corner triangles, and they go 1 in each of the very outside corners. Now we're ready to make all of the rows. Since the quilt is on point, every row is on the diagonal. So this is the first row, it just has 1 patch. The next row has these 3 pieces, so we're going to sew them together and set it right back down where it came from. This is the next row. Again, I'm going to sew it all together and put it right back here. Then we've got a skinny row. So I'm just going to make all of the rows, and then I'm going to stitch them all together. I've got the double vision quilt all done. The borders are on. It's loaded on the quilting machine, and now we need to pick some thread. I really think that a nice bright green would look good on here. That will show very nicely. Now if I go with a dark purple, it will match, but in the light areas, it's going to be too strong. I could always go with a medium purple, but even this one, if I put it over here, it's still going to show a lot. Now this lightest of the lavenders here, that one is not going to show at all, and I think I'm going to go with that. I think it will just fight less with the pattern if I just blend into the background. For the quilting pattern, I'm going to use one called Luna. It's a little bit abstract. It's got curves. It doesn't have real remarkable flowers, and that's what I want. I want something that doesn't have a lot of geometric angles, something that has curves, so that it will be kind of the opposite of what our patchwork looks like, and this will work really well. The double vision quilt is all quilted. I've got the binding on. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like the fact that the patchwork is kind of floating in the background. So this is what I'm talking about. Because of the sashing and the corners that we put here, it's floating in there. And then the green border comes around the outside. This is how I most often do my borders. I will do the secondary color right here, then the background, then what I consider to be the main color or the darkest color on the outside, because it frames the quilts so nicely. I used another almost solid batik on the back, and see what I did on the binding? I took all the extra strips that we had, pieced them together, and they fit exactly around the edge. Really easy to make, very bold. The pattern is very bold in these colors. Now, the pattern said twin size, 81 by 97, so that's a really big twin. It's almost a full size. Thanks for watching our tutorial today. We hope you enjoyed it. Now we're having another giveaway. We are going to give away a quilt called Box Step. You may have seen us do this in a video. It's a fun pattern to make, and this is a nice picnic size blanket. Great colors for fall. Now it's very easy to enter the giveaway. Just go to the link that says giveaway and put in your name and your email address, and you might be the lucky winner. Now green and purple are my favorite colors, and I notice I use those in a lot of my tutorials. But those might not be your favorite colors. So in the comments, let me know what your favorite color combination is, and I promise to work that into some future quilt projects. Now, if you like the quilts we make, we would love it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you won't miss any of our upcoming projects. Happy quilting!